Welcome to the Cohn phone, a washed out outdoors version of the Cohn phone. One day it's going to look good out here, but right now I just look like a ghost because I'm so, I don't know, white, I guess would be the adjective. Look at me. It's disgusting. Anyway, we already have people in the queue. I'm going to do this for an hour. It's not going to be about me so much today as it is about the people calling in. So we got Chris Lathan first, Ant-Man Builds second, and whoever wants to jump in next. So Chris, veteran of the show, borderline Hall of Famer of the Cohn phone, been calling in for years. Let's see what's up with Chris.
What's going on, Grant?
How you doing, Chris? Good to see you.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm not going to take much. I just got a couple of things to say, and I'm going to be out. I know exactly who the 49ers should have signed. I know exactly who they should have signed. And they would have won. They would have won the Super Bowl. And you know who that is? The referees. That's who they should have signed. I am so sick and tired. How much talent do we need? Like, how much talent do we really need? Like, you have the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. You have Pro Bowlers on all levels. Defensive line, linebacker, secondary. I was never a big believer in Travarius Ward or Lenore, but they're good enough to win. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been watching 49er football for a long time. I'll put it to you like this. When Dwight Clark made the catch, me and my friends were walking to elementary school talking about it. That's how long I've been watching 49er football. It's enough talent. And the problem is
their talent isn't the issue on this team. Yeah, the talent is
no,
the issue on this team.
No, it's not. And the problem is, and they don't do this enough, but if this was an older if this team was a little bit older, you know what would have happened by now? They probably would have had a team meeting, a players only meeting. Now I don't know if those.
This team is older than the hills behind me, man. This team is older than dirt. I'm surprised that they're having these issues.
Yeah, what I mean by older is like if it was set back maybe in like the 2000s or 2001, because they don't do players don't do that nowadays. I've never heard a team that is talented. You know, you don't hear teams having players only. Now I don't know if they work or not or what they talk about, but talent is not the issue. And you keep putting it on the defense, but you have all these weapons. You know, if I'll put it to you like this, if you're a great chef, right? And you know how they have Beat Bobby Flavor on these chef shows, and they give you the ingredients, and you don't even know what they are.
$15 on them, and you got to go into the absolutely. Yeah, it's like Kyle Shanahan. Like you can't put together a good offense with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Ray McLeod, Jordan Mason. Like really, that's not enough for you. Like you need the foie gras too. You need the filet mignon too. Like you need to really gild the lily to have anything tasty. Come on, make a hamburger.
Yeah, that is the problem. I
mean, a killer hamburger for $10.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that the defense hasn't fallen off, but it has. But the issue is that with all of those weapons, you know, you can't say that, hey, we just can't score any more than 17 points. Come on, man.
Well, it's all Brock Purdy's fault because he turns the ball over, right? It's all the quarterback's fault. Every time the offense falters, Kyle Shanahan doesn't point a finger; he points like an elbow. He's like,
"Yeah, it's somebody else's fault." And I really love the point that you made. That 2019 team, it was more than just the players. I mean, you had
three head coaches on one team. 4: Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel, Robert Saleh, DeMeco Ryans. 4.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, and to me, like on that 2019 team, it was mostly about the defense. Robert Saleh was, to me, the head coach that no one talked about. He was the one who set the culture. He was the one who gave them their identity, their passion. And DeMeco carried that on. Maybe he even did better. And now they're totally missing that. And I don't know that they have anyone who can bring it back on this team. It's not Wilkes. And I don't think it's Kyle either. So they're in a tough spot.
because the thing that I see is that as you can only take so many punches to the gut to where it begins to hurt. We lost two great offensive coordinators, one not two defensive coordinators, and the off Mike McDaniel's in Miami. You can't keep taking these hits and not have it affect the team. But
Look at the Rams. Look at the Rams. Look at how many coaches they've lost throughout the years. Kevin O'Connell, Zach Taylor. The list goes on and on and on. Guys they've lost, and now they're not a schematically advanced team. They're not cutting edge. They're just a pretty mediocre vanilla team. And Sean McVay, in a lot of ways, is kind of exposed. Like, all right, man, you're a big name. You got promoted quickly in your life, but when you take away all these other people that, like Sean McVay is like Kyle. You're a legacy. Your last name carries weight. Your grandfather was the general manager of the 49ers. Like, once you have all the people around you who don't have that legacy name and they go on and do their own thing and it's just you on your own, what you got? Yep. And I think we're learning that with Kyle too.
Yeah. How many wins do you see in the second half of the season for the 49ers? How many wins do you see?
I mean, I could see 5, maybe 6, 5 or 6, which means 6, maybe 7 losses. Right? They got 12 games left.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
12.
Am I tripping? No, not 8, 12. 9.
8 or 9.
9. So I can't do math. I don't want to do math. Don't put me on the spot ever again, Chris.
I don't honestly. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, with the way that they're playing, it's scary because when we won those, we never had top tier corners. The only shutdown. I think there's a difference between a shutdown corner, a number one corner, and average corners. And above, I think we have above average corners. I never thought Travarius Ward was a number one corner. I thought he was good enough to win the Super Bowl with. The same as Lenore.
If he was a shutdown corner, the Chiefs never would have let him go.
Exactly.
Also, I kind of got the feeling that the Chiefs felt once Travarius Ward got the bag, quote unquote, that he wouldn't be the same. And I feel like that sort of happened, man. I don't know. Maybe he's hurt, but I thought he was way better a couple years ago. What's going on with Travarius?
Yeah, I think he's good. I think the problem is that our DBs. I think the way that our defense is set up is for us to play with the lead. I think that's because you can't keep investing in the defensive line. Like that's all you do, and then on top of that, the rules are set up for the quarterback. Getting hit late, low. I mean, all that stuff. So
it's like a 15-yard penalty if you breathe on the quarterback.
Yeah,
personal foul, breathing on the quarterback.
Yeah, if you could have gone after one person, and you would have locked that person up in by the trade deadline, who would you take him? Who would you have gone after, and why?
It's hard to say, man. I would have gone after a corner or an offensive line, but I didn't see any of those players changing teams. Jalen Johnson would have been great. Patrick Surtain would have been great, but they're not going to trade 2 first-round picks for Patrick Surtain because they need to get like multiple offensive linemen next year. I don't know what they're planning. No. Excuse me. We know what they're going to draft with their first-round pick next year. A defensive end. Chris, I got to take more calls. Thank you for calling in.
All right, no problem. You have a good one.
You too, man. All right, Ant-Man's builds, and then someone else call in. Otherwise, he's going to be the last caller because you guys aren't participating today, and I'm disappointed. What's up, man?
What's up, Grant? First time on the show. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I was just finished playing Madden. Not gonna lie.
Cool. What's on your mind today, baby?
Honestly, about today, I'd like to talk about like what you were talking about the other day when it came to leadership on the team and how much we're lacking due to the coaches that have, been given the opportunities to become head coaches elsewhere. Such as the last guy was talking about, McVay. McDaniel, D'Amico, Saleh, all those guys stem from the Shanahan tree. And I think Kyle's never learned, even from the days with his father back with Washington. And I believe back when he was around Denver as a youngin, he never developed the leadership trait. I think he does rely heavily on his coaching staff to develop that aspect with the team. How do you feel?
I agree, man. I think, and it's like, I thought Kyle knew that about himself. I thought Kyle had enough self-awareness to realize, like, look, what I need from my defensive coordinator isn't like a schematic whiz, although nothing against D'Amico and Robert Saleh. They're very, very smart. But what I need first and foremost is like the yin to my yang emotionally. Like, I'm not a leader, okay? I'm not emotional. I'm fairly negative. I can make a small problem and make it worse. I just kind of want to focus on my plays and calling the right plays, which is fine. He's really good at that. So he needs like a counterbalance. And he had it in Robert Saleh. He had it in D'Amico Ryans. And maybe he thought Steve Wilks was going to be that guy, but maybe he didn't know Steve Wilks that well. Like, from afar, you could say, look at Steve. He's been a head coach. He was an interim coach last year. There's a leadership quality to him. We could bring him in and he could fill that function. But now that he's here, his first decision was to not be on the sideline. That was a bad sign. And now that we've gotten to know him, he's a lot like Kyle. He's a little removed. He's a little negative. He's critical. He's not this like young, late 30s, early 40s, ball of energy that D'Amico and Robert Saleh were. And I think that this particular team, this particular defense grew accustomed to that style of leadership, coaching, and is missing it big time right now. So when, Steve Wilks says whatever he says in a team meeting, it's probably a lot of players rolling their eyes. And when Steve Wilks calls a bunch of, exotic stuff that they didn't run in the past, it's probably a lot of people in the huddle rolling their eyes like, what is this guy doing? So I don't think the players are bought in with him. I think it's a big problem. I don't think he fits this culture at all.
I definitely agree wholeheartedly with that whole statement when it comes to,
and that's on Kyle.
Yeah,
you didn't know this guy.
And Lynch. I do believe Lynch has a hand because when it comes to the hiring process, I do believe they're all involved. And they're all heavily linked when it comes to who can get brought into the building and who leaves the building. And with that aspect, I do believe that like it falls on Lynch somewhat, but it's mostly on Kyle. You got to be able to pick that sort of leadership up in the building. If you don't have it,
Lynch isn't going to be like, hey, Kyle, this is your new defensive coordinator. He's going to be perfect for you. Like, that's something that Trent Baalke would do. Kyle has carte blanche. Kyle gets to make all the decisions. And Robert Saleh, great decision. D'Amico Ryans, great decision. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. We thought you knew what you needed, especially at defensive coordinator. And now it seems like you had no idea. You brought in this guy who wasn't a scheme fit. He wasn't a culture fit. He was not a fit. He was a terrible hire. Not because of him. Bad fit.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I believe he was just open. He was just the open hire. They had no one in the building that was willing to be promoted. And Kraseric doesn't even want to be promoted because he likes his position. He likes the aspect of where he.
They could have brought in Jim Schwartz, who runs the wide nine. He's in Cleveland. This is his first year in Cleveland. They could have brought in him, or they could have brought in Vic Fangio and let him overhaul the defense and run whatever he wants to run. But Kyle didn't want to do that. Kyle wanted to keep. He basically was like, I want to do what I did when I transitioned from Saleh to D'Amico. Keep the scheme the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We had the number one defense last year. Understandable. But bringing in an outsider who didn't build the culture and has no familiarity with that scheme, it doesn't match up, man. So I don't know. Like, if you can't promote someone from within to run the same exact stuff, then bring in someone from the outside to run what he does, because this little half-step in middle ground isn't working.
And I believe it's on him, and he should have been visually aware to what was happening around him when all the coaches started to get offers. He should have been visually prepared for the aspect of either being able to change the defense in a formation where it was going to benefit not only our defensive line and the new schemes that could be run, or keep the wide nine and bring in someone that was willing to learn it, or like you said, Jim Schwartz, who runs it, and just have him take over it. But
if you want the wide nine, get Jim Schwartz. If you want the best coach available, get Vic Fangio. Don't do this middle thing.
Exactly.
Don't do this middle thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway. And I'm more concerned right now, not on the defensive aspect, because I do believe our players are very skilled to pick up, hopefully towards the end of the season. I really hope this bye week helps them. But I'm concerned about that 17-point offense and Kyle's lack of creativity.
Yep. What are you talking about? Just give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Hey, man, great to see you, dude. Have a good
later, brother.
All right, later. Kyle's lack of creativity. Where did it go? I know where it went. South Beach. Okay, we got Barry Baller, Jeremy Price, and then Keith Murphy, the unbeaten. Man, it's been a minute and a half, man. I thought you didn't like me anymore.
G-Money. Hey, where you going today? You got the collared shirt on. It's early. I know you're going somewhere today.
Man, I'm dressing up for the Cohn phone, baby. What are you talking about? This is serious business. 160 people watching this show right now, man. We got to look good.
I want to ask you, what's the main difference you're seeing from this Steve Wilkes defense opposed to D'Amico, Robert Sala? Because I know we've talked in the past, even those guys kind of played this soft zone, right? So
Not this
that's
soft.
not this soft.
Not this soft. This is like
No,
this is the softest zone I've ever seen. Like you would think the Niners cornerbacks are me and you. And look, I don't know, maybe D'Amico Ryans has higher standards and he came here and he's like, man, I don't know who they think these corners are, but I'm not a fan of Travarius Diamador. He wanted Isaiah Oliver, but he's playing these guys like 9 yards off the ball. And if you're going to do that, like you're going to have no pass rush, no pressure. So it feels like schematically he's all wrong for this team. Not just in terms of the front, in terms of the coverage. And then in terms of like his personality, he's all wrong for the team. Other than that, I think he's perfect.
What I'll add to that, not only is the zone getting carved, there's holes all over the defense. I mean, Fred Warner, we talk about him, we know he's a phenomenal zone coverage linebacker, but I'm seeing holes in the middle of that defense that typically are being shut down by these linebackers.
Warner and
And
Greenlaw.
even when they switched to man, Grant, like against the Vikings, they went to a bunch formation and the DBs didn't even know how to react to it, right? First one in, first one out. They got crossers running wide open. It's like, Steve, I thought this is supposed to be your expertise, and there's holes not only in the zone, but the man is getting
Nothing he
demolished.
calls works, which makes me feel like with this much talent, the players aren't bought in. Whatever he calls, they're like, okay, let's give it a shot.
So what adjustments can they make? Maybe from a personnel standpoint, let me toss one out because Tayshaun Gibson, I mean, I haven't been seeing much from Tayshaun Gibson. He caught a lollipop interception from Dak Prescott. You would have picked that off just as well. But I mean, he's 7th on the team in tackles. Like a safety, 7th on the team in tackles, who's playing like 100% of the defensive snaps. When is it time to give Jair Brown a shot, get some more speed?
Now.
I feel like this defense it looks kind of
for a
old.
reason.
It feels kind of slow.
Yeah.
So is it that time we see Jair Brown, Sam Womack? What's the latest on him? Because I'm looking to get Womack on the field in place of Isaiah Oliver. What do you feel about those two personnel moves?
I don't know about Womack in the slot. I don't know about his tackling.
Well, I'm thinking
and that
him
kind of
outside
stuff.
and putting Demo.
There you go.
Yeah,
I think Isaiah Oliver needs to sit down. So I'm in favor of anything that doesn't involve playing Ambry Thomas. Not sure why. Is Ambry Thomas still on the team? Yes.
He's not good. We've talked about this before. I'm not an Ambry guy.
No, he can't play. They don't really have a 10th, an 11th player in their defense. If you think about it, it's either Oren Burks or Isaiah Oliver or Ambry Thomas. Like they don't have a 10th, an 11th guy. It used to be freaking Jimmy Ward or Azeez Al-Shaair. Like both guys are good. Whoever you want to go to. Now it's like, okay, let's bring in Isaiah Oliver. Yeah. Okay, no, let's play Oren Burks. Sorry.
But you're in favor of getting Jair Brown on the field and seeing.
I think that'd be a great start, man.
Yeah.
Tayshaun Gibson, he's in a lame duck year. He's not playing that great. He's 33 years old. Let's see what the youngsters got. Why did you trade up for him? This is the worst rookie class ever. Get someone on the field. It ain't gonna, or Braden Willis, Robert Beal, someone.
Hey, I like me some B. Willis. That's my guy. Let's get him active. Let's get him on the field. I'll leave you with this. G. Brock. I mean, the offense in general. We got to eliminate some of these turnovers down in the red zone. McCaffrey coughing it up. Brock Purdy making some boneheaded plays. But man, Grant, I'm watching. Man, Brock's making some spectacular plays. Outside the pocket, inside the pocket. Posts, seam routes. I mean, I feel like Brock, if he can kind of eliminate some of these the boneheaded plays that have been cropping up, I think he's been playing really freaking good. But hey,
minus the multiple turnovers,
the turnover battle, it's tough. But
yeah.
I just wanted to say, I know Brock, he's been getting beat up a bit recently, rightfully slow. You can't be making these boneheaded mistakes, but I think Brock is still playing a good brand of football. The best quarterback play since,
I don't know, man.
We'll see. Is he better than Kaepernick? Who are you picking to win a game right now? Brock Purdy or prime Kaepernick? Alex Smith, Jeff Garcia.
I'm going Jeff Garcia, man. Dude, it's still only been 13 games for Brock Purdy. I still think we need to see a little bit more. I'm not writing him off, but this is his first stretch of adversity in his career, and so far it's not so good. So I want to see him pull out of this and sort of stabilize and like hit some type of a mean. Like, what are you really? You're not the first 10 games of your career. You're not these last 3. What are you? And before I really learn that, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'll take Brock over Prime Kaepernick, because I know exactly what Prime Kaepernick was, and he won an NFC Championship game. Prime Jimmy did not. I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him that. He handed off.
No.
Barry Baller, man. It's great to see you, dude.
All right, big dog.
Later. All right, Jeremy Price, Keith Murphy, Bryant Culp, Nakash. Jeremy Price. I know you're not driving. I know you're not driving.
No.
Okay. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I got you.
All right. So, yeah, man. Hey, first and foremost, what up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Life is good. Life is amazing. Life is amazing. Now, let's talk Oakland A's. Are you going to show up to next week's city council meeting and try?
No.
You're not?
Absolutely not. No.
You done with them?
Done. Been done with it. I've never been an A's fan. You kidding me?
Okay.
Are you kidding me? That's not a professional sports franchise, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Second, how about the Warriors? God, they look good.
A lot better than last year. Yep.
Yeah, a lot better. Now let's get to the money. All right.
Okay.
We've been talking about this for years now. And I just please just hear me out. Before we throw Wilkes, before we start throwing people under the bus, you do understand that there is a head coach. There's such thing as a head coach.
What does he like to do? Throw people under the bus?
No, that is not leadership qualities. Pointing fingers. Oh my God, Grant.
Because you got 4 more pointing back at you.
Oh my God. For years we've been talking about this. I don't want to bring up Voldemort, Jimmy G. I don't want to bring this guy up. He who must not be named. I don't want to, but I have to. God, I feel for this is what I was trying to tell you on Tuesday when you were talking to Jess. I feel for Devontae Adams' family. I grew up in the same neighborhood, and I feel for that family, man. He is.
Do you know his family? He's only a few years younger than you, right?
His family, but look,
yeah,
yes, he graduated maybe 5 years, 6 years after us. I know you're 06, okay. You're class 06, but yeah, I just feel for small town, so I feel for the family because God, man, I don't want to burn him. He did a lot for our organization. He did a lot for our fans. It's not easy to be an NFL quarterback. It's not an easy task, and it's damn sure it's not an easy task to go to NFC championships twice, as well as a Super Bowl. So I won't burn him too much, but I'm gonna call him Lord Voldemort because I'd rather not talk on his name. Okay, it's just he who must not be named. God, wide open, and when he didn't listen, I'm gonna pause this because this is the no homo. The first thing that comes in my mind is Grant. I'm like, oh my God. I wonder what Grant see. What would Grant say as soon as he saw the wide open miss? What was on your mind when he threw that? When Devontae, yes, when Devontae Adams.
Dude, I'm not watching the Raiders. I wasn't watching the Raiders.
You saw the highlight, right?
Nah,
didn't.
I wasn't
watching. Just wide open. And I'm like, I wonder what Grant would say.
I don't need to check in on Jimmy, man. I already knew it was going to happen. We all knew.
Yeah.
I take no pleasure in seeing someone's demise. I predicted it. I don't need to watch it. Sorry.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, that was horrible. Thank God I didn't draft him in any of my fantasies. But back to the guy. What I want to know is, because I'm a firm believer that the Niners are going to win 12 games this year. Firm. Yes, we were facing a little bit of adversity. I saw 2 of the losses. I didn't see the third. I saw the loss to the Bengals for sure. For sure. I thought for sure we were going to lose to Joe Burrow coming off of a bye week. I put my money against it. I know I shouldn't. It sounds horrible, but I just felt like the Bengals is gonna win. I'm still thinking it ain't how you get, it ain't how you, it ain't how you win. It's how you get up from getting hit and beat down. And this is what I want to see in the kid. I'm riding with Brock. This is what it is. I think we're gonna get 12, man. I think we're gonna get 12. We're gonna see. How are you though? You all good?
I'm all right, man. I've been telling the coach he needs to do a show with you, man. You need to reach out to that dude. Tell him Jerry Price is the dude for you.
No, he need to come to your show. Hey, if he don't come to your show, which I know he does secretly, he watches your show, he need to talk to you. This is years and years and years of us talking the same jive. Like, bro, you're the head coach. Stop blaming other people.
I'm talking about the coach on my channel.
Oh, the coach. My bad.
I'm saying you and him need to do a show on his channel. I'm trying to tell him. Hit up Jeremy.
No. I'm a Cohn phoner. I'm a Cohn phoner, bro. Don't try to pass.
All right, Jeremy.
I'm a Cohn phoner.
All right, Jeremy. I love to see you, man.
Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Later.
You too. All right, we got Keith Murphy, Bryant Culp, Nakash, Sean Heaney, King Chewy. All right, we got half hour left, so let's try to go 5 minutes each. All right, Keith, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I can't complain. At my college homecoming, trying to recuperate from last night. But I'm gonna go back to the offseason. What do you think about us going quality over quantity? Instead of investing in 4 or 5 of our defensive players like Jimmy Ward, Ebukam,
Amanihu, Aziz,
yes, they got Hargrave.
Trade-off so far.
I agree with you 1,000%. And I always tell people I'm a basketball guy more than football. Basketball is a quality sport. If you can have 2 or 3 great players, you'll trade 5 average players. Football, you want B players as many as you can over. You'll take 5 B players over 1 A player, where basketball is totally opposite. And Hargrave, you can see, like, I have a good friend that's Philly fans that's been with Hargrave, and I love Hargrave, HBCU grad. But Philly jumped out on teams kind of like we do. And when you do that, the teams are forced to pass, right? Mm-hmm. But when they can sustain a running game, he's not a great run stopper. You're starting to see that in the middle. And if we can't jump out on teams, I mean, how are we going to combat that? What is the point of having Hargrave?
Agree. You're not getting to these pass rushing situations. So he's not. That's why I wonder if Chase Young's going to help. How many pass rushers does it take to stop the run? How many pass rushes does it take to cover a quick pass? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And back to Brock, I'm interested to find out, too, what he really is. I knew he wasn't what he was the first 10 games. Like, no way you got the greatest passer rating ever, throwing no picks. And now you're facing some adversity. Are you somewhere in between, or are you the guy you were the last 3 games? I really don't know. I mean, what do you think about that situation?
I think we're going to learn right now. I don't think Brock knows who he is. You don't know who you are until you faced a crisis moment in your career, in your life. You could just be cruising along thinking everything's great, but the crisis moment is coming. And for Brock, if he's a starting quarterback, he's going to get a lot of them. This is the first one. And so far, he is folding like a freaking chair. So he's got more time. But right now, it's not looking good, man. Like, he's in the fetal position sucking his thumb. That's where he's at, right? I mean, that's what I picture. Maybe he'll bounce back right now.
I got to come back to agree with you about, dang, now we know John Lynch has a promotion, and then Kyle and him both got extensions. I think it's premature. I think that's way premature.
Jay, did you learn your lesson? Do something like that this early in the season, and a losing streak could be following.
And also, this team walks around with the swagger as if they've won a Super Bowl. You guys still have
since they lost. They've been doing it since they lost.
I agree. And I'm like, hey, man, hey, Debo, calm down your comments. I don't want you to get hurt. Some of that's karma. Like, you out here just talking crazy, and now you're sitting out games.
Karma's real.
And I'm like, come on, dog. Like, let's go win before we start talking crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta keep the line going. We got a bunch of people waiting, but it's good to see you, man. Have a great weekend. All right. See you, Keith. Resilient motto has been a member for 21 months. That's a long time. Debo at the SC game as a celebrity instead of rehabbing, prepping for the Jags. Is that true? That's unfortunate. Bryant Culp, good to see you.
Hey Grant, how you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, losing 3 in a row. I don't think anybody's happy about it. But what's your record now? I know there's been a lot of things said. We've had an
10-7.
upgrade to 10-7. So you still see us making the playoffs, or the Niners making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. 6 seed, something like that, kind of like 2 years ago.
Do you think them being a 6 seed is the worst thing for them?
It's not great. It's not great. Maybe it's, they were a 6 seed a couple years ago and they made it to the NFC Championship game. It's just exhausting because there's so much travel they have coming up. Jacksonville, Philly, they got more cross-country trips. And then if they're a 6 seed, you got road game, road game, road game, if you win. So it's exhausting, but they almost pulled it off a couple years ago. We'll see. Maybe one of those road games is, something close by, Seattle. You don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up, because my point kind of is it seems like to me the Niners have to be that team that has adversity. It has to be them against the world. When people start saying they're the best team, then they forget that they can be, and they start losing games. But when people are like, oh no, count them out, that's when they start, showing out. So I've joked with you, I think, a couple times already. Do you think it's okay to coin this season the Moody season?
Sure.
And the reason I'm saying that is we've had our highs and we've had our lows, and sure, we've had some rookie kicker here or there that's missed a game or two, field goal, but everybody coming in and out. Like, we're not playing running backs, we're not getting to the quarterback. The corners are giving up, the game breaking records to like Rams players, rookie wide receivers, no name, right? So I don't know. And then my last question, I guess, for you, and if you have anything to ask me, you can always ask me. But my last question is if Wilkes is coming down to the field, do you think that's going to help?
No. I think this is his personality. He could be on the field, in the booth, in the rain, on a train, on a bus, with your friend Gus. He could be, it doesn't matter. He just has this same type of dour, removed personality that Kyle has. And I think Kyle needs to understand that he needs the exact opposite of him as his defensive coordinator from now on. You need the exact opposite. And you got someone who's like you. So that's on you, man. Bryant, great call. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, man.
See you soon. All right, we're going to get Nakash, then Sean, then King Chewy. Real quick, though, I want to show you just talk about my sponsor real quick. BetUS sponsors the channel. If you want to make a wager on anything sports related, non-sports related, click the link in the description. Get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. I like looking at NFL season awards as the season progresses. And a few weeks ago, Brock Purdy was had the third best odds to be the MVP. So that was not the time to bet for Brock Purdy to be the MVP. Now, if you think, hey, man, this guy's second in quarterback rating, his stock is down further than it should be. He's a good player. He's going to bounce back. Well, he's plus 2,500 right now to be the MVP. The favorite is Mahomes and Tua. Mahomes because he's Mahomes, and Tua because he's leading the league in quarterback rating. Then you got Jalen Hurts. You got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all with better odds than Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence. That's an interesting one. Niners playing Trevor Lawrence next week. Christian McCaffrey now has better odds than Brock Purdy. You know what? That's fair, because I think we were looking at this a couple of weeks ago, like, oh, Brock Purdy could be the MVP and Christian McCaffrey could be the offensive player of the year. No. Christian McCaffrey is so clearly the MVP of the 49ers offense. It's not even close. So I'm glad to see that the odds makers acknowledge that. I hope Niner fans acknowledge it too. If you want to bet on McCaffrey win the MVP, 1,600, he's got 13 touchdowns in 8 games. He just might pull it off. Again, if you want to make that wager, click the link in the description. Get 125% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. That means if you deposit $100, they match it 125. Thank you very much, BetUS. All right, Nakash.
Hey, what's up, Grant?
I like the hat. I like the gold rim glasses. You look good, man. How you doing?
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to talk about how I feel about the Niners overall. I feel like starting 5-0 and extending Kyle and John Lynch really swept a lot of issues on the rug. And now I'm just not sure how I feel because they are a strong team. They've got a lot of good things going for them, but at the same time, there's a lot of issues that I think haven't been addressed and haven't been really thought through by the Niners. And specifically with Steve Wilkes in the secondary, I mean, you brought in Steve Wilkes because he was a secondary expert, right? Supposedly that was his strong suit, and it's the weakest part of our team. And I think that, yeah, supposedly, yeah. And when I looked at his stats in the past, like he's never really been a strong defensive coach. His defense has never finished in the top 10 or the top 15. So I'm not really sure what Kyle was thinking there. But
I think
yeah,
Kyle
I just wanted
wanted
to
a
get your
leader.
thoughts on the secondary.
He's like, man, he's been a coach, he's been an interim head coach. I know I need this leadership. I think Kyle understood that. Like, I know I need a head coach leading from the backseat because that's what Saleh did. That's what D'Amico did. I can't give, like, the defense is the number one part of our team. It's all about effort and passion. That's not me. I'm the guy calling offensive plays. I think he thought Wilkes could be that guy, and I think he just really didn't know Wilkes. Really,
yeah, I
maybe
think he
Kyle's
just didn't
not as good of
expect
a
Wilkes
judge
to
of
be sitting
character.
up in the booth.
Yeah, man. I don't know what he thought, but he misjudged that one. And now it's
because you remember in
late?
training camp, like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I remember you said in training camp that Wilkes was like hands-on with the players, like he was jumping on the field and, you know, coaching guys up. I feel like maybe that was a good sign, but where's that during the season, right? Like he's
it's
just
different
up in the
though.
booth
It's more like Ambry. Okay, you messed up. Let's do the coaching points. Saleh and D'Amico are the kind of guys who would get fired up after good plays. Like they're more like positive reinforcement. And I think Kyle and Steve Wilkes are more negative reinforcement. All right, let's talk about you did 8 things well, you did 3 things wrong. We need to focus on these 3 things. You don't do them again. Whereas Saleh and D'Amico are the kind of guys like, man, you did 3 things wrong, but you did 8 things right. You're getting better. And I think that kind of
team
coaching
feels
and
slow.
teaching,
like the team didn't feel like energized anymore. You know, like it used to have that pop. Like there'd be 5 guys swarming tackles and stuff. Yeah. My last question to you is, who do you have more confidence in at the end of the game, Kyle Shanahan or Brock Purdy? Because to me, Brock Purdy is still relatively unknown, and to my books, he's 1 for 3. He got us the Browns game, like he really did that. So to me, at the end of games, he's 1 for 3 or 1 of 3, and Kyle Shanahan is 0-37. So who are you trusting more at the end of the game, Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan? I'm still leaning towards Brock.
You got to remember that at the beginning of that. You got to remember at the beginning of that drive in Cleveland, first pass was a dropped interception.
Oh, penalties.
So to me, I look at Brock. Yeah, I look at Brock as an extension of Kyle right now. I think Brock's super prepared and everything that Kyle makes him practice, he's good at. But I think this whole team is so arrogant that they don't have to practice hurry up offense. They don't have to practice 2-minute drill because they're not really trailing enough in the fourth quarter to even waste their time on that. Like, get out of here. Yeah. It's hard to knock. Maybe Brock's a choker. I don't know. He turned the ball over a lot in college. He lost a lot of games.
That's the thing, right? Maybe Brock's a choker, but we know that Kyle is.
But we know Kyle's a choker, and right now I look at it as an extension of Kyle. So I'm with you. I think it's Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, right, that's fair.
Great call, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. Sean Heaney. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
How you doing?
Good to see you. Good. How about you?
Good to see you too.
So I'm like I'm out in Houston, Texas, and just wanted to go down like a little memory lane with you when I first started watching you. I hope you're good with that. All right. So I think I started watching you 2020, and it was during the Niners season. It was a down year, and we were having to pretty much pray and hope Nick Mullins was the answer. But I remember I started watching you, and I was like, oh, this guy's got some fire to him, and wearing a suit tie. I remember that. And so, yeah, I think what really got me hooked on you, though, was when I realized, oh, this guy is the, what's his name? Oh, man, I'll think of the name in a second. But you're hated at Ninerland, and you don't care. You want to do what you want to do. And I was like, oh, yes, this guy's my guy. And so, what's that guy that Jim Carrey played? He's a pet detective or something?
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura. I was like, you're Ace Ventura. Yeah, you're Ace Ventura at Ninerland. So, I can just imagine
get
you
to the bottom.
One too many.
Kidnapped Snowflake. I want to know.
Yep. And so I can imagine you Kyle, you ask Kyle one too many questions, and he is like, all right, Grant, into my office, we're gonna have a talk. And he's like, all right, you want me to make your life a living hell? And you're like, well, gee, Kyle, I'm in a relationship right now. Do you want married?
Fickle and Einhorn.
And so, yeah, it's like, hey, your number's still 28-3. Oh, alrighty then, gotta go. So
Sean,
anyway,
good stuff, dude. I'm gonna let you go, dude. That was weird, but I liked it. Good to see you, man. Peace, Sean. That was cool. King Chewy, and then voice ad agency. King Chewy, it has been a long time. So good to see you.
Grant, what's up, man? How's it going?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Just watching these Niners stink it up every week. I don't know what's going on, man. Your title of the show, though, how the 49ers fans feel at the bye, man. I feel like they lost all their identity, Grant. They don't know where they're going. They don't know how to get it back. Like, they have no answers,
They did
man.
lose their identity, man. It's crazy when a team is lost and they don't know who they are anymore. And it's like, man, can D'Amico come back and remind us? No.
They
He's in
have no
Houston
answers
now.
right now, Grant. No answers at all, man. It's like they can't get off, the field on third down on defense. I don't know
can't
what
score more than
happened to the
17
offense.
points.
Like, you look at the Dolphins, right, with Mike McDaniel, and they're so creative. All the shifts and everything, they mean something. Like, now I just see people going in motion in the 49ers offense. It doesn't even mean anything. Like, why? Why are they doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Everything has a
like,
purpose in Miami.
right? So, like, they don't know what they're doing, man. And it's so confusing watching them play. They have so many all-pro caliber players on offense and defense, and they get no pressure on the quarterback. They can't get off the field on third down on defense. They can't
Can't
stop the
cover
run.
anyone. They can't stop
On
the run.
offense,
They can't run
Brock's
the ball.
turning the ball over. They can't run the ball. They
They
don't
can't
use
block
any of
anyone.
their other running backs. The only thing they know how to do is hand the ball to McCaffrey. They have Jordan Mason for short yardage. They don't use him. Juice is an afterthought. George Kittle gets 2 or 3 catches a game. Like, they don't even know what to do. It's just so crazy after that hot start, man. What do you think is like
That's
the
why
biggest?
That's why this bye week is so critical, man. They gotta figure out who the hell they are. They don't have that much time left. They lose to Jacksonville, they'll be 5-4 with 8 games left. And I don't think they're gonna beat Jacksonville. If they beat Jacksonville, that's a key win. I mean, that's a big win. Jacksonville's 6-2 with a better quarterback than the Niners have. You win that game, that's a big deal considering what you just lost to freaking PJ Walker. Now beat Trevor Lawrence. If you can do that, then everyone's gonna look at you differently. But right now, I don't even know what the Niners see when they look in the mirror. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Like, so what do you see? Like, if we said, hey, this
Team
week
completely lacking leadership.
we need to
That's why
start.
as soon as they hit adversity, as soon as a couple players got hurt, as soon as you lost to PJ Walker, it just snowballed. If this team had a real backbone and a real leader, you wouldn't have turned 1 loss into 3, but you did. And now I'm wondering, like, when is this going to end? Who is going to be because it's not this losing streak isn't just going to end on its own. Someone's going to have to rise up and change things. And is it going to be Kyle? Is it going to be Wilkes? Is it going to be Purdy? Like, who's it going to be? I don't know. In the past, it was always the defense. So we'll see. King Chewy, I got to get through some more calls, man. It's good to see you, dude.
Take it easy, Grant.
All right, we got voice ad agency, Flav, and then Coach Rob Mahone, and that's it. Then the show's over. So we got 15 minutes left, 3 guys left, 5 minutes each. I'm going to cut you off if you take too long. Voice ad agency, what's up?
Grant, what up, man?
What's up? What's up?
You caught me at work, doing a photo booth for a 50th birthday party at a Niners house.
Sounds fun.
Go ahead, check out that Debo right there in the background.
What?
Let me get you.
Wow. Man, you got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. What's up?
All right, real quickly, you can invoice me at the Jacksonville game. 321 mobile photo booth. If you're in Florida and you need a photo booth for your party, go ahead and invoice me at the game in Jacksonville for getting that plug, Grant. I got you on that.
Thanks.
Go photo booth.
Hey.
So I'll keep it short. You see I'm working. I know you're working. I had to just jump on this. Sorry we're out there, Grant. But what I think, is it Brock Purdy having the trouble? Are you able to hear me with all the noise? All right. Is it Brock Purdy having trouble, or is it typical Kyle Shanahan? Because it seems like every time a quarterback he gets, they have a good first year. Then the second year, they get exposed. So do we need to start thinking about?
It's both. I mean, Kyle does a good job of setting up Brock, but when it's time for the fourth quarter and Kyle can't help him anymore, and Brock's like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to step up. It's like, oh, man, you're going to step in a banana peel and fall over. That's what's going to happen. You're going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Over and over. The banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Go back to work. You need to go back to work. You need to go back to work. That's the whole party.
All right, but that's what I'm feeling. So here, last thing. Do we trade problems? Patriots have a problem rebuilding with Belichick, but he's a coach that can get it done. Kyle is a great rebuilder. Do we trade problems? That's what I'm thinking.
Belichick needs to retire. Goodbye.
All right, $20 super chat if you say happy birthday to Kiki.
Happy birthday, Kiki.
Thank you.
All right, man. Later. Let me take some super chats real quick. Hold on. Did you take the link down, says Flav? Nah, you're up.
What's up, buddy? You got me? Can you hear me?
I got you. I got you, man.
Hey, pretty good, man. How about you?
I can't complain.
Nice. So I just want to go on. I think, to me, the cool thing about Kyle's scheme is when it's working, and in order for it to work, basically, there needs to be the run game. I think that's what it's all dependent on. If you have the run game that the defense has to respect, then it sets up all the passing stuff. And when it's working, you don't need your typical great receivers that.
You know when it's working? When you're winning, right?
No, but okay.
When your defense is money, when you have a lead, when your defense is stout, and you're up 7, 10, 14, you can run the ball. You can do play action. You can scheme guys open, to your point. But you're down 10, man, that doesn't work.
Yeah, but I think one of the reasons that, until he got CMC, I think Ayuk was a first-round draft pick, but you can get guys that are not first-round draft picks, find them later in the draft. That's why they've kind of had success. Yeah, Kittle, Debo, what was second round or something? Juwan was he 6th or 7th or something? Because the scheme is so good, when the run game's open, you're going to have dudes wide open down the field. Everything is good. You can whiff on first-round picks and hit on these later ones. And he's very good. He got guys that fit his system where you get the ball in their hands and they're going to be pretty good. The problem is, though, they're not your first-round draft picks that can also get themselves open. And that's the difference between the first-round draft pick and the later picks that Kyle Shanahan has been able to get. The problem is when your run game's not working or it's late in the game, you need your receivers to be able to get open themselves or win one-on-one matchups. And frankly, I just don't think that these guys can do it. I think you put any of these guys—
They're not built to play from behind. They're just not built to play from behind.
They're not.
Not just the receivers, the offensive line, the quarterback, and the head coach. It's just not what they do. They don't even practice playing from behind, which I think says a lot.
Exactly. And then, the other point I wanted to make was I think it was clear that the last 2 games, especially this team, Kyle even said it, they look tired, they look slow. We talked about the risk of running CMC 15 times in the fourth quarter when you're up by 20. One thing that's not discussed is by doing that also, you're setting yourselves up to be tired the following week when you could be getting these guys rest in a blowout. And, now they're sitting there tired. Why were you running CMC playing your starters when you were up by 20 versus, some shitty team in week 3? And, that's also another opportunity to see what you have in your running backs that you don't trust come later on in the season because you didn't get them reps when you should have. In addition to—
That's what September and October are all about.
Right. And so, to me, I think, the fix is clearly defenses have adjusted again. They're playing more in the box. You got to get back to those little screen passes. I don't know why he's not running to them to Ayuk anymore. He used to. Obviously Debo coming back. I think that they do that to kind of offset having guys up because Brock doesn't have really the time to throw deep right now, with this offensive line. So you got to do something short, but you also can't run it. That's what you have to figure out. And, Kyle Shanahan has to adjust. But to me, the scary thing is it's all setting up again to where, if you are in a position in the playoffs or just late in games where you have to score quickly, we're going to have the same issues that we always had back with Jimmy, whatever, where you're set in this situation where it's 3rd and 8. And how are you going to have time, first of all, for the quarterback to even, for anything to even develop? But even if it does, how are these guys going to get open when, they're not just sitting in a zone scared of a run where they have to cheat and the receivers got to win their matchup. So
good call. Flav, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Got it.
Good to see you. All right. We got 10 minutes left. Trying to go quick. Voice ad agency says, happy birthday, Kiki, as promised. Kiki, happy birthday. Coach Rob Mahone. What's up?
What's up, Grant?
How you doing?
I know you got a jet, man, so I'll make this quick. I just got a couple points.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I know we're all, hey, look, everything does funnel down to the head coach, right? It all comes down to Kyle at the end of the day. But what we're witnessing, and I think it's obvious, is the players not believing in their defensive coordinator, right?
Yes.
Like Talanoa Hufanga, first team All-Pro last year, and all of a sudden he looks like a stinker, right? I mean, Fred Warner missing tackles. What we're seeing is
Nick Bosa doing nothing.
We're seeing a defense who does not believe in their defensive coordinator. As a coach myself,
they are not bought in.
Exactly, they are not bought in, and I think
he
it's
called
very
something.
obvious.
They're like, "What? Are you serious?" Yeah.
We're all so quick to point the finger at one person, but it's the whole unit, including the coordinator. I've seen a couple people make this point. The secondary is not tied in with the front a lot of the time. It's leaving gaps open, and that's why they're getting gashed on the ground. And when defensive players, I'm Fred Warner, he's the voice of the defense. I'm sure he knows this. They're probably talking about it in the locker room. They're just not bought in.
No,
and so
it's obvious. It's obvious.
I think
we're
all
all
quick
to
point the finger.
That's on Kyle.
That's on Kyle. It is. At the end of the day, it does all come down to Kyle.
You should have had someone you could promote from within. You should have had a pipeline. D'Amico was waiting in the wings. Who's the next guy?
Now, I know this is a little bit of a conspiracy, but do you think they maybe gave the edge to Wilkes in the interview process with the third-round comp pick in mind?
Maybe, but I mean, that's really, 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 really arrogant. Like, things first, man. First things first.
Agreed.
Yeah. You're hiring a guy because you expect to lose him? Like, dude, come back to earth. Coach, good to see you, man. All right, man.
Good to see you, man.
Gary.
Grant! Hey, I know you got to go, but I just find it hard to believe that the San Francisco 49ers, a team notorious and famous, the greatest comebacks in NFL history, do they really not practice a 2-minute drill? And you know what? I know if anyone has the guts to ask Kyle about it, I know you don't see all practice, but it seems ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I want to get to Brock Purdy. I don't think he's a problem, but he could be. He has been the problem the last 2 games, but he could be. Even number 1 draft picks, people with higher status than Brock Purdy, have got beaten up and sent right out of the NFL. If this continues to happen, what's positive for me, what's hope for me, is it doesn't seem to be because of Brock's physical limitations. He's getting out of the pocket. He has a noodle arm, but it hasn't really cost him that much within the 49er offense. That gives me hope. But man, first game, he got ribs. He had to throw a pass in the NFC Championship game with a busted elbow. That ain't gonna work. Concussed playing. He's bigger than you think, but you can't keep going with that. So I want to know. Can you ask that question to Kyle? It seems unbelievable and just ridiculous because you're not, the 49ers. Hey, they're not built for Brock to carry the team. Not yet. No. Not yet. They're not built to carry a team.
He's not big enough.
And this is what I'm so upset about Trey Lance. He's built to not turn the ball over. Hey, hold the ball. Okay, we'll take a sack behind a team that can run and play defense. But the 49ers are not a team that can run and play defense. The challenge is that the personnel is not matching the scheme on both sides of the ball.
Loving
this is my dog. This is Panda. Okay,
Panda's loving it.
This is my question. Do you really think? I mean, their adjustments are there. We got a big advantage if CMC lowers his carries and gets out of the backfield, whether outside the backfield, slot, whatever. We had the defensive coordinator. You're scared because are you going to cover him with the linebacker? Are you going to cover him with a nickel? That ain't going to happen, right? But they're not doing that. They're not utilizing their talent as a theme on this team. We talked about it a lot. The front 4 isn't married to the coverage, right? So right now, I mean, we're going to have 7 to cover. I think the 49ers have the capability, front 4, including Hargrave, Chase Young. Armstead should be a beast. He put a bear hug on Burrow and let him go. I think they have the capability to stop the run with the front four. They got to do it. It's like fine, but Oliver, is that going to cut the mustard? We're going to let young guys. Do you believe they could do it? Do you believe they can make the personnel changes? If you want energy on defense, you got to play the young guys. You got to play J.P. Mason. Do you think will they do it?
I'm not sure that they will. I'm not that optimistic. We'll see, Gary. Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, Jose, you're the last one of the day. We got 4 minutes. What's up?
What's up, Grant?
Not wearing
Long
a
time
shirt.
no
I was
see.
hoping you would be wearing a shirt, but that's okay. I mean, no one's perfect.
Long time no see, Grant. How you doing?
Good to see you, man. I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Well, I wish I would have known your show was on sooner. I would have hopped on sooner. But anyway, so basically, I'll try to keep it simple. Everyone wants to blame Steve Wilkes for all of our problems, which last time I checked, Kyle, you've only scored 17 points in 3 straight games. Where's your offense at? Brock Purdy, out of nowhere, he's a turnover machine. Brock got to get rid of those interceptions fast. CMC even fumbled, even though it didn't really matter because we won that game anyway. But just overall turnover, sloppy play offensively. Defense as a whole, whether it's Steve Wilkes, I honestly put it more on the players than Steve Wilkes because these players, you're literally giving up cheeks in the run game. Like Alexander Madison and Cam Akers look decent against you on Monday Night Football when you're supposed to be an elite run defense. Where's Javon Hargrave? We gave $84 million to. Where's Eric Armstead? We gave $70-something million to. Where's Nick Bosa, who we gave $135 million to? And we brought in Randy Gregory, who's supposed to be a solid pass rusher. And you just brought in Chase Young. How much help does this D-line need when we have Isaiah Oliver at slot corner and we have Dominor Lenore as your starting corner? You should have went out and gotten a starting corner in the trade deadline instead of adding another defensive end. I mean, Eric Armstead on his own little podcast said, "Oh, we have the guys in-house to make it happen." I mean, I guess not, because John Lynch made you go get someone else to add to that defensive line because Eric Armstead.
Yeah, they went and got Randy Gregory, and then they went and got Chase Young. So they're clearly thinking,
yeah, it's the guys aren't in-house. So you can put some of it on Steve Wilkes because he is pretty blitz happy, but that's his track record. You knew that hiring him. So let's not act like that's a shock. Okay. The players, I'm personally with my own eyes, I'm seeing the D-line giving up cheeks in the run game and not getting enough pass rush. Kirk Cousins played his best game on Monday Night Football ever against this D-line, who has millions and millions of dollars put on it. So if anything, the players themselves need to check themselves and they need to get better this bye week. And if anything,
it's like I always say, if you don't chickadee check yourself, then you're bound to riggedy wreck yourself. I mean, it happens every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kyle needs to really do that to himself too, because your offense has not scored 20 points in 3 games, Kyle. Where's your offense been? It's disappeared. Without CMC scoring touchdowns, your offense is nothing. Let's be honest.
You know what it is?
What?
It's cheeks.
It's cheeks. There you go. Exactly, Grant.
Yeah. That's the word of the day. Jose.
And hold on. Isn't Aaron Banks injured too? So you're missing a guard too. So that's not going to help coming out of the bye week either.
No. Looks like more cheeks on the way. Jose, go take care of your cheeks. It's been a pleasure. All the best. Peace, man. Yes, the show. Thanks for watching. I don't know how cheeks became the word of the day, but it is. So go somewhere, do something, and try to fold that into your vocabulary today. See if you can see how many times you can say cheeks to a stranger with a straight face. That is the game for today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow the Niners don't play football. So I don't know. We'll figure out something to do together. See you guys.